Hello YouTube, welcome to another video with Joseph Manifesting. In today's video we're going to talk about a topic that I see pretty often on Facebook and Reddit, and it's why is sometimes the advice to just affirm or feel the wish fulfilled once and then go on with your life and let it come to you. You have other times where it's just detach from it. You have other people saying to continuously persist. In today's video I'm going to tackle this because the answer is it depends. I want to start off with a quote by Neville that's one of my favorite, and it says, "Many a person will say they want something today, but forget about it a week later." And I'm not speaking about some little magical thing where you can wave a wand and your desire will suddenly appear. This law is based upon a principle. If you want something, you can have it, but you must be willing to give up what you are now in order to be what you want to be. That is the only price you pay. No sacrifice is required outside of giving up the state in which you find yourself and moving into the state where you want to be, for they are only states. Now with that quote, he talks about a couple of things that are of huge importance. And number one is that how often have you found yourself, I know I've been here and I've done it, but you want something in the moment and then the next day or the next week or the next month, you don't want it anymore, and then are upset when the manifestation doesn't happen. And this is why I always share the importance of writing on a list of like what your actual heart desires are, is because these stay consistent. For me to be a content creator and to be a coach and do all these different things, this has been on my heart for a while. It's something that has been consistent. I had limited beliefs and such that stopped me from doing it for quite a long time. Social anxiety, didn't think I was good at speaking, etc. That stopped me from moving forward with this for quite some time. But this was something that was always on my heart. You know, being happily married and having that notebook type marriage was always something on my heart, and now I end up having that. So that's why I always suggest find your heart's desire and really sit down. And when doing this, a lot of people that I talk with, and even myself included, when I was making my heart's desire, it was based upon what I felt was possible based upon my current self-concept. And I'll give you an example of this. When I was making $40,000 a year and I wanted to make more money, well, what I truly wanted to be was a millionaire. That was my heart's desire, was to be a millionaire. I've always enjoyed money. I've enjoyed, being generous with it, etc. Having the freedom, having the ability to go and do things that I want to do. But based upon my concept of myself, I thought, well, $60,000 is what I'll imagine. You'll notice I imagined that amount of money based upon my current self-concept and instead of what I truly desired. I don't need to use facts. I don't need to use my past experiences to imagine. I want to use imagination solely to imagine that I now possess what I truly desire. Again, I don't want it to be based upon factual, the personality of Joseph and what he's experienced up until this point, and then adding a little bit of money to there, what I think is possible for me to imagine. That's using facts to create imagination, when it's imagination creates facts. So what I want to do is imagine that there's no way I fail. Anything that I write down on this list is mine immediately. This is what you want the list to be. This is your definite chief aim. This is who you're imagining you're going to be going forward. It's very, very, very important to have that. And then what I like to do is I like to carry a list with me of what my definite chief aims are, and I carry it on a piece of paper and I remind myself. And anytime that the old man comes up, anytime that I'm having any type of fears or worries or checking a 3D or whatever it is, I'm aware that I left the state of being in my wish fulfilled or being in my desired end. And then I'll read the list or I'll imagine a scene where I am now that person again. So I want to tackle the part of the video that I talked about in the beginning, which is, do you need to do it just one time and forget about it? Is this something you should do consistently? Should you just do sats, etc., etc.? Now, the answer is going to be depends. And the reason why I say it depends is, let's go back to the example I gave of I make $40,000 a year. Now, let's imagine that I were to imagine having an extra $200 that week. Would it be possible for me to do that? Sure. That's not crazy amounts of money. Of course, I can imagine $200 extra, right? So I'll imagine that $200. I'll imagine myself receiving it. I can let that go and just do it one time. Well, the question may be, well, why just one time in that instance, Joseph? because that isn't too far out of my self-concept. That isn't too far out of my experience. That's not a crazy amount of money to me. This wouldn't be a miracle for me to get $200. So then I'll experience that. So it's only need to be done one time in that instance. Now let's say Joseph is trying to manifest 40 grand that week. And I usually make 40 grand a year. In that instance, me manifesting it or me visualizing it one time wouldn't work, for the reason being that my self-concept is so far from the person that experiences receiving $40,000 in a week that for me, I wouldn't think that it's possible. Now remember, Neville talks about continuously that how long your manifestation takes to show up is based upon the naturalness of that. And I can tell you, if I'm used to making 40 grand in a year, to manifest 40 grand in a week, it's not natural to me. That would seem like a miracle. I won the lottery or something crazy like this. So it wouldn't feel natural to me. Now, how do I get to the point to where it does feel natural to me? Through consistency. Because what made me believe that I only make 40 grand a year? Well, first off, self-suggestion from society. This is what the average salary is. This is what you make without going to high school, etc. I've heard this 10,000 times, and then it's just natural to make 40 grand a year. Then I see proof that I make 40 grand a year. Now this has created my identity of someone who makes 40 grand a year. Well, I need to do the exact same thing, except for use my imagination. The beautiful thing about the mind is that the subconscious does not know the difference between reality and my imagination. So in order for me to be natural in making $40,000 a week, what I need to do is put myself or imagine myself, what would I experience if I had $40,000 a week? What would I do? I'd continuously have thoughts of investing in things. I'd continuously have thoughts of possibly purchasing this, giving money to this person, going on trips, investing, etc., etc. This is things that I would do. Probably count the money. I enjoy money a lot. I like touching money. I love smelling money. It's a wonderful experience. So I would imagine myself counting $100 bills because I like to do that. I'd imagine myself checking my bank account because I like to do that. These are things that need to go on continuously all day long. Seeing deposits, getting notifications, the amount of money, touching the money, seeing the money, buying your dream car, etc., etc., all the time. Because again, as it says in this quote, is that it can't be a some of the time thing. I must embody that state. I must embody that personality. And I embody a personality, it's through what I repetitively do all day long. That creates my identity. If I go to the gym once a year, I am not a healthy gym person, right? If I do it consistently, I'm a gym person. And so, again, in this instance, I want to continue to imagine myself in my dream car, imagine myself in my dream house, imagine myself with a dream amount of money over and over and over and over and over again. The side note that I want to say on this is a hang up that I had for a while is like, well, the personality of Joseph doesn't know how he's going to do that. This is a common thing, right? People all the time go, how do I manifest something when the 3D shows the complete opposite? That's manifestation in a nutshell. Because if I already had it, I wouldn't be trying to manifest it. So this is the same principle for everything, whether it's an SP, money, job, etc., etc. I'm clearly not going to have it 3D wise, hence why I desire to experience it. And so I must continue to stay loyal to this and continue to imagine and imagine and imagine and imagine. I'm always big on persisting over and over again until I experience what it is that I want to experience. And what I'll catch is through persistence, I'll start seeing the world different. I'll start feeling as though I am a millionaire. I'll start feeling as though I am abundant. I'll start having thoughts from the premise of, now that I have money, where do I spend it at? Who do I share it with? Do I buy this car? Do I go on this vacation? Do I buy this rental property, etc.? And these thoughts will naturally flow to me from the state that I'm occupying. And so it is not me that does the manifestation. It's not the personality of Joseph. It is the Father, the consciousness of being. It is unconditioned, and yet it is everything. So my only job is to continue to fill my consciousness, to continue to impress the subconscious, which is ultimately continuing to condition the unconditioned consciousness to outpicture what I have pictured within. And so I continue to do this, I continue to do this, I continue to do this until I identify naturally as somebody who is a millionaire, somebody who has a dream relationship, somebody who has their dream job. And I do this over and over and over again until it is now natural to me. And that is the biggest indicator of how quickly the manifestation will come to fruition, is how natural does it feel to you? Because all manifestations are natural. You'll see often, like when I used to read, SP success stories, it wasn't a crazy thing for these people to manifest their SP back, right? It just felt they were excited, they were grateful, but it felt very natural for them. Why? Because again, they gave it to themselves. They continued to identify as somebody who already had their ideal over and over and over and over and over until it became embodied in them. It was part of their identity. And then once that happened, they knew it was done, didn't need proof anymore, and then it showed up outside of them. Guys, thanks so much for watching the video today. If it added any value to you, English is hard sometimes, please do like, subscribe, and share. The more that's done, the more this information gives the people that need it. If you're interested on one-on-one coaching, please do visit josephmanifesting.com and sign up through there. I'll be happy to work with you. Thanks for watching, guys.